Hello friends, Jennifer with JD Designs here, and today I have a fun, fast, and fabulous Christmas card for you. Christmas is just around the corner, and if you're like me, you're finishing up putting the finishing touches on your Christmas cards and you may need a few extras. This card came together so quickly, I cannot wait to show you. We will be using some of our adventure ribbon and our fabulous wreath stamp and coordinating thin cut, which is available while supplies last. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you how quickly this card comes together. All right, we'll set that aside. First thing you're going to need is a colonial white card base. These card bases are fabulous. You get 50 in a pack for $14.95, and they come with the card bases in the envelopes. They're pre-cut and pre-scored. You just need a bone folder. Go ahead and swipe it across a couple of times, and you have the base of your card all ready to go. Then I have a piece of wood grain paper from our former Timberline collection. I have quite a bit of this left in my bulk stock, so I'm just kind of using it up with my Christmas cards. But you could use any of the wood grains in the Rustic Fundamentals, or any of the other Rustic Fundamentals would create a great background for this card. Then I have here a piece of cocoa cardstock and a piece of colonial white cardstock that I will go ahead, and I'm actually gonna, nope, we're gonna hold off on adhering those two together because I need to stamp on this, and I always say when you need to stamp on something, wait gluing it down until you're sure you got the stamping. So actually I think the first step that we're gonna do is set all that aside. I'm gonna grab my Cuttlebug, and we are going to die cut our fern cardstock. So here is my Cuttlebug. Hopefully I can get that all in the picture for you to see. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the thin die, which this is the wreath, and like I said, it's available while supplies last. And you can go ahead and just line that up here on your fern cardstock. And then depending on the die cut machine you have, your sandwich might be slightly different. For a Cuttlebug, you're going to use your A base, your C plate, as well as your B plate. Then you're going to go ahead and just get that started in the machine. I then just run this through. You'll hear some cracking and creaking as those plates go through. And then I like to bring mine back just to make sure I got a good cut. Once that's done, just kind of pop it out of your cutting plate. Again, you're going to hear some creaking and cracking. Pop the middle out, throw the edge away, and then you've got your great wreath all done. So no more fussy cutting. These thin cuts are great because they will just go ahead and cut that right out for you. So then what we're going to do is we are going to take our coordinating wreath stamp, which this stamp is great. You can use it for any season really. It's got just a great feel to it. Because we're using fern cardstock, I've opted to use New England Ivy ink to give it a good, true impression so that we can really see the wreath stamp on here. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. I've got this stamp mounted on my 3x3 block, so I'm going to go ahead and move it around a little bit as I'm inking. After I do some twisting, I kind of just tap on it, and then you go ahead and just kind of look over from the top. Benefit of clear stamps. You can really see what you're doing. Go ahead and get that all lined up the way you want it. And then push your stamp down. Give it a second to allow that ink to fully transfer. And then go ahead and lift up. And because our stamps are kind of sticky, you're just going to go ahead and pop that off, the cardstock off there with your fingers. And there we have our great wreath. Can you see that detail? How fun is that? All right, so the next step we're going to do is we are going to take our wreath and lay it down here on our paper. And then we are going to grab one of our Christmas stamps. And I'm actually using an M-size stamp from last year's seasonal expression. However, there are 4 fabulous M-size holiday stamps in this year's catalog, and they would all work really well with this. So I'm going to use some cranberry ink. Again, wiggle, wiggle, tap, tap, tap. And then just kind of look over and line up where this would go based on where you will be adhering your wreath. And then we'll just go ahead and set that down. Again, allowing some few seconds and some pressure to allow that ink to fully transfer through to your paper. All right, we'll go ahead and pick that wreath up, and then we can go ahead and assemble this super quick card. All right, first thing we're gonna do, now we can grab our wood grain paper, some adhesive, and our cocoa square. Hopefully I'm not off camera here. A little bit of adhesive on the back. And I am using our new Tombow Mono tape runners that Close to My Heart has recently released. They are a refillable tape runner, so you can buy the base and then just simply buy the refill packs as needed. So once you've got that down, go ahead and add your Colonial White. I love these little tape runners. They're great for throwing in your bag, taking to crops. I will never get rid of my ATG. I personally love my ATG, but the little tape runners are great for on-the-go crafting and anything like that. And then I did say I was going to use the cranberry red ribbon out of the Adventure Ribbon Pack. Absolutely love this ribbon pack. Comes with 5 spools, 4 ribbons. One is a beautiful blossom and white twine, baker's twine. I'm going to use this grosgrain ribbon here. And all I want is a piece that is slightly bigger in width than my paper, probably about 1/2 inch off of each side. And then I'm going to use what I call my cheater method. This method's been around. A lot of people use it. If you've never heard of it, it's super easy. It's just a way to save on ribbon and save on bulk. So you're going to take 2 pieces of Scotch tape. Any tape really works. You can use leftover washi tape that you have in your stash. Whatever you want to do, kind of line your ribbon up about where you think you want it. Flip it over and simply tape on the back. And then what we're going to do is, I usually start on the front. And as you can see, this ribbon in the Adventure Collection has these white hearts on it. Super cute, super fun. But for this card, I decided not to use them. So I'm just simply using the back of the ribbon. And then what I'm going to do here is just kind of find about where I want that ribbon to be so it's even. And I just pinched it. And then I'll hold that as I flip it over. And again, I'm going to just stick another piece of tape down here. And I think I don't have this layer quite stuck on as tightly as I want, so I'm going to add a little bit more adhesive here. I obviously didn't put enough on. Another thing I like to do when doing the cheater method, if I want to make sure my ribbon stays down tight, some people don't care. I personally would prefer my ribbon to be stuck down tightly. I will grab a glue dot and I use my quick stick here. Just a tool I have in my craft room that has a little bit of a edge to it. And then what I will do is stick a couple glue dots down here onto the paper itself, and then just kind of pull my ribbon tight to find where that ribbon lays straight. And I'll just do it on 2 different spots underneath here. So again, I'm just going to slide this up and under. Hopefully I can get up and underneath there. I find it works best if you stick it to the paper, and then you can kind of just pull your ribbon tightly, and that'll just help hold that ribbon down if you want it to. If you don't and you don't care, you don't have to do that. I just like my ribbon to look a little tighter. Then I'm going to go ahead and again, now I will add adhesive to the full back of this beautiful wood grain paper. We're going to go ahead and stick that on to the card base. Just making sure that your card is opening on the right side, which obviously mine wasn't. So we're going to go ahead and stick that on. And then it's really up to you at this point. You could either take your wreath and adhere it down directly to the card, or I personally chose to give it a little bit of dimension using some of my foam squares. Close to My Heart also sells foam tape. Any kind of foam, adhesive foam pieces that you have in your craft room are perfect to just give it a little bit of added dimension. And I'm going to go ahead and peel the backing off of these. This is where I do typically prefer the foam tape. but I ran out and have some more on order, so I'm using up my stash of these little itty bitty foam squares. One thing to note, if you are going to be mailing your cards, which most of us will mail Christmas cards, you don't get to hand very many out in person. But if you're going to be mailing your cards, I highly recommend getting the thin foam tape. We offer 2 different thicknesses of foam tape. I recommend the thin because it goes through the mail better than the original thicker foam tape. So then all you're going to want to do is go ahead and drop your wreath back on, centering it around your sentiment, like that. And then all I did was grab a few of our red enamel gems that come in, I believe, 2 or 3 colors. My pack is getting low. And then I used the brighter red that kind of matches with that cranberry ribbon. And I just took and put a few little berries on my wreath. I'm just feeling for where I put that foam, so that way I have kind of something behind these supporting them. And then there you go. You have a fun, fabulous, and fast Christmas card. These would be very easy to make en masse. You could quickly run an assembly line on them. So if you're looking for a last minute Christmas card idea, head on over to my blog and I will have all the details on how to make this card. I will leave you all the dimensions and sizing and everything that you would need for assembling this card. If you are interested in ordering any of the products used in this video, please head over to my online store at jddesigns.ctmh.com. Until next time, remember to design with heart. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.